Well, hello and welcome again to our reading of Mark's Gospel, and we're up to chapter 11, starting at verse 15. This is the cleansing of the temple, which is mentioned in three of the other three Gospels, including John. So it was obviously an important and dramatic story, and that was included in all three of the different Gospels, including the Gospel of John. So they came into Jerusalem, and having entered into the temple, Exatot from Archemi, he began Ekbalain to cast out those selling, from polio, word for sell, and those buying, doing business in the temple. And the tables of the kolubistone, fortunately it's across 2 pages, the kolubistone. This is a late word, it means money changers. The noun kolobos is used in Aristophanes to refer to a small coin. The temple dues, which was a half shekel, had to be paid by all Jews to support the temple, and they had to be paid for various reasons in Tyrian currency, and hence there was a need for money changers, who of course charged a fee for the process. So these tables of the money changers and the seats of those selling doves, katestrepsin from katastrepo, he overturned. So that's the main verb with respect. So he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those selling the doves, from katastrepho. Okay, uk aphien, we've had that form before. That's that funny late form from aphio, which is a late form of aphiemi, and he did not allow that anyone di enenke might carry. Skios is very vague. It means vessel, but here probably more in the sense of merchandise, carry a thing through the temple. So he wouldn't allow anyone to carry merchandise through the temple. This verse is not in the Matthew or Luke stories. They probably found it as fairly obscure and just left it out. So he wouldn't allow them to carry any merchandise through the temple. And he was teaching them and saying to them, is it not written, has it not been written that, and we get the quotation here, my house, klethesatai from Kallio, this is the future passive, will be called a house of prayer by all the nations, and it's a question, so shall not my house be called a house of prayer by all the Gentiles? And this part, not part of the quotation, but is added, but you, pepoikate, this is a perfect from poio, you have made it into a speleon. Speleon is a cave, often translated a den, but a spele, we get speleology from this, of course, so speleon is a den or a cave, leistone is a robber or thief. This is a good classical word. And the chief priests and scribes were listening, they heard, and they were seeking how they might destroy him. This is from aorist subjunctive from apolumi. They were seeking how they might destroy him, for they were frightened of him, for the whole crowd, ekplesatot, were amazed at his teaching. We've had that verb many times in Mark, one of his favourites there. They were amazed, they were astonished at his teaching, and when it became late, exeparuonto, they went back out of the city, so back out of Jerusalem. We now get this strange story of the withered fig tree, which only occurs in Matthew's Gospel, and going along probably early, they saw the fig tree ex eramenein ek risdon. So this is from this is a passive participle here from xerino is the verb, so it means withered. Having been withered from xerino, this is the perfect passive participle from xerino, and the nu has been turned into a mu before the labial mu there. So having been withered from its roots, ek arisdon. And Peter, having made mention of it, having called it to mind, he said to him, Rabbi, behold, this fig tree which you cursed, which happened earlier in verses 12, the fig tree which you cursed, this is from cat arao, has been withered, has been dried up. Again from xerino, this is the passive form here. Aorist passive. And Jesus having answered, he said to him, he says to him, historic present, have faith in God. Truly I say to you that whoever says to this mountain, arthete, this is the aorist passive imperative from airo, be caused to rise, and this is the aorist passive imperative from bellow. So be caused to arise and be caused to be thrown, it's really causative here, into the sea, and he does not waver. This is a special meaning of diakrino, which is, you'll see this also in the Epistle of James, and does not waver in his heart, but believes that which he says, ginetai, is happening. It will be, understand, so for him. So if he believes with his heart without wavering and believes that what he says is taking place, it will happen for him. It will be for him. And for this reason I say to you, as many things as you pray and you ask, believe that you received them. This is the aorist. So believe that you have already received them, past tense, kai estai, and it will be for you. So it will happen for you. It will be for you. This is from stako. It's a later form of that histemi. So whenever you stand praying, participle, aphiatai, forgive if you have something against someone, in order that also your Father, the one in the heavens, might forgive you. This is all from aphiemi. Might forgive is a subjunctive here. Might forgive you your trespasses, your paraptomata, your wrongdoings, your trespasses. And they come again into Jerusalem, and in the temple, genitive absolute, as he was walking around, they come to him, the chief priests and scribes and elders come to him. So in the temple, when Jesus is walking around, the chief priests, the scribes and the elders present, historic present here, they come to him, and they say to him, by what authority, literally in what sort of power, by what authority, poiesis, do you do these things? Or who has given, aorist from didomi, to you this authority in order that you do these things? And Jesus said to them, I will ask one word of you. So I will ask you one word, and answer to me, and I will speak to you by what authority I do these things. So we get here, this is ero, this is the future from lego. So I will speak, I will tell to you by what authority I do these things. The baptism, the one of John, and it's a question, so was the baptism of John from heaven or from men? Akrithete, answer me. It's the same form we have up here, answer me. And they debated in themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say, so there's that arrow again that we had just up here, the future of lego. He will say, Deity, why, therefore, did you not believe him? Aorist from pistuo. So we get pistuo plus the dative here, which is the commonest form in Mark. Well, we have to understand if again. If we say, I've left out the an, we had it back before. If we might say from men, and then we get a dash. This happens sometimes in Mark where he goes from direct speech to indirect. For they were frightened of the crowd, for all of them held John truly that he was a prophet. For they, so this is a adverb here formed from the verb to be, participle. So it often translated truly, or was in reality a prophet. And having answered Jesus, they said, we do not know. And Jesus says to them, neither will I speak to you by what authority I do these things. And that is the end of chapter